Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video. We've been doing a lot of coverage of Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, one of my most anticipated games of the year, and I have been certainly critical about certain aspects of it. The lack of the multiple tiers of system requirements, as in more than two, that I typically like to see. The early access gimmick I never liked, but that's just me being vocal and me being a little bit negative. If we actually talk about the positives, this game looks absolutely incredible. It looks like that over-the-top, visceral, action-heavy game. Hundreds of enemies on screen. The type of game that is right up my alley, and I know is right up the alley for so many of you guys. Got a lot of updates on the game to go over in this video. A not-so-great update as far as one element is concerned. We'll talk about that. Have a bit of a note on Twitch drops, and we do have a lengthy FAQ that has a lot of information as well. Right off the top, I do got to get some shilling in. Our good friends at Green Man Gaming do have the game heavily discounted. If you're an XP member, the base game is 16% off for $50.39. The Gold Edition, which does grant you the early access on September the 5th, yes, just a few short days away, is 16% off. Instead of paying $90, you'll pay $75.59. By the way, you don't pay tax either, which is quite nice. And yeah, you'll get a Steam key, redeem it, and you'll be good to go to play that. One aspect of that we'll talk about in a little bit that is a little bit of a bummer as far as when you can play the game. But let's, right off the top, talk about some of the FAQ info reveals. Right off the bat, as far as Steam Deck compatibility, been seeing a lot of talk on whether or not this game is going to support Steam Deck. So, as far as will the game be playable on Steam Deck, we are working on official Steam Deck support, but it's not ready yet. We're currently targeting the end of the year for full Steam Deck support. That obviously doesn't mean the game isn't going to be playable on the Steam Deck right on day one. It probably will be playable on the Steam Deck. However, it's just not fully optimized for the deck hardware and the deck layout. If you actually look at the system requirements for the game and look at the minimum requirements, which is going to be indicative of how you're going to play the game on the Steam Deck, ain't nobody going to be trying to, like, you know, play it on the deck and max the game out. Yeah, good luck with that. Your deck's probably going to explode. But if you look at it from a minimum standpoint, which is for 30 FPS at 1920 by 1080 at low preset, which is actually a higher resolution than what the deck even displays at. The deck has a 1200 by 800 display. It's very comparable to what a lot of games can run on the deck. An RX 580, GeForce GTX 1060, Ryzen 5 2600X, i5 8600K. Like, once I saw those requirements, I was like, all right, this is probably a game that's gonna be able to run on the deck. But as far as being actually deck verified, that's not gonna happen on day one. It'll be interesting to see, you know, once the game comes out, how exactly it's performing day one. Some other notes, ray tracing, DLSS, and other PC-specific technologies. DLSS 2 and FSR 2 are going to be available at launch. DLSS 3 and FSR 3 is planned for post-launch, and as far as ray tracing goes, that's not going to be in the game, so you know, keep that in mind. Looking at the recommended requirements for the game, which, by the way, is for 1080p, not even 1440p or 4K. If you add ray tracing to that, I think, yeah, you would need the FU money PC at that point. As far as widescreen displays, widescreen support is planned. While it won't be available right at launch, we're working on implementing it by the end of the year. Will the game have official mod support? They don't have any plans for official mod support. Anti-cheat, they'll be using the easy anti-cheat on PC at launch. Does the game use DRM software? Denuvo is the one they point out, and they just straight up say no, the game will be available on day one with a GeForce Now. The game won't be available on Game Pass. Can the HUD elements be removed? And that's for those of you that want more of a cinematic experience. And they note, though there is no actual cinematic mode available where all of the UI elements can be turned off all at once, all of them can be individually displayed or removed through the settings menu. Only the crosshair, enemy attacks, and missions objective pop-ups will be visible. 3 options will be available: on, off, or dynamic. And dynamic means that UI elements you've chosen will appear when you need it the most, for example, during combat, and disappear otherwise. All right. This next piece of information I find rather just annoying as far as PC is concerned. Will I be able to preload the game, and if so, when will preload be available? It'll be preloadable on Xbox and PlayStation. We more so cover PC on this channel. On PC, however, preloading will not be available. It is the year 2024. How are we not getting preloading available across the board on all platforms? I get that you know, I don't even know. I was about to say, I get that this game has an early access launch period, but does that really justify not having a preload? The game is 75 gigabytes. Not everybody has the best internet in the world, so, you know, if you're trying to play it right when it comes out, a 75 gigabyte install can be a pretty sizable install, and that can take quite a bit of time. You know, I know a lot of you guys have really good internet, and a 75 gigabyte install, you can do it fairly quickly, but again, it is the year 2024. Preloading should be available across the board, and the fact that it's not available for Space Marine 2 is just kind of inexcusable. Preloading, the last time preloading not being available that really annoyed me from my recollection was Alan Wake 2, and Alan Wake 2 is just because that game was only available on the Epic Game Store, but that was incredibly whack as well. I'm sure there have been other games that I'm forgetting right off the top. I don't make it a habit out of every game I play to be like, okay, I want to play this game at midnight, so downloading it on launch day or whatever launch timing as far as this game is concerned, that's not a big deal to me. But, you know, for a lot of people, when they want to play it right when it drops, right when it unlocks, preloading is incredibly beneficial. And in the case of Space Marine 2, it will not be available, which is a bummer. I don't really know how you can slice it. That's just a little bit of a bummer, especially in this day and age. What are the game's accessibility options? You can enlarge the size of subtitles to make them easier to read, as well as 3 different colorblind modes. Which languages will be available? The game is fully voiced in 7 different languages, including English, French, German, Spanish, Russian, Japanese, and Mandarin Chinese. A variety of different languages are available as well. Now, if you want to talk about the early unlock, so for those of you buying the Gold Edition or the Ultra Edition, the game will not be available tomorrow night, you know, midnight, technically September 5th. The game will be dropping September 5th. That is Thursday morning, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern. Again, your local time may vary, so you'll have to wait a little bit later in the day. Most of you guys have 9 to 5s, you have school, whatever the case may be. So noon Eastern, 9 a.m. Pacific as far as the unlock time. Your local time, depending on where you live, might vary. And then if you are going to be waiting for September 9th for the official release, once again, same thing, September 9th, 9 a.m. Pacific, 12 p.m. Eastern, so that is when you're going to have to play the game, but, you know, we're going to have to install the game as well, so that's a little bit of a bummer. Again, I'll go back to it just because it's 2024. I feel like the fact that this game doesn't have preloads, and the fact that this game only has 2 tiers of system requirements, I feel like that's just such a step back as far as what a lot of other games are offering, with preloads being a regular thing, with multiple tiers of system requirements, especially for a game as beautiful and technically impressive as this. I feel like having a lot of tiers of system requirements would have been beneficial. It's not the biggest deal in the world, just like not having preloads isn't the biggest deal in the world, but would have just been nice. I offer that to you guys. And preloads are available on Series X and PlayStation 5, so, you know, if you're buying it on console, you do have that option. But that'll do it for me. Again, Warhammer 40k Space Marine 2, incredibly excited about the game. I know it was a little bit negative in a lot of regards. As far as Steam Deck goes, it looks like it will be playable on the deck, but official support and verification will be coming by the end of the year. A lot of details in that FAQ as well. Unfortunately, no preloads, but what can you do? What can you do? By the way, for those of you that haven't played the first Space Marine, don't worry, you can jump into Space Marine 2, no problem, so don't worry too much about that. And again, our good friends at Green Man Gaming do have the hookup link in the description box below. Whether you want to pick up the Standard Edition, Gold Edition, or the Ultra Edition, you'll get a Steam key, and you'll be good to go. And you'll be able to download the game. You can't preload it. Download the game come September the 5th. That'll do it for me. Your thoughts down below. Thank you for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.